Hey guys, welcome to Nine Lives Energy. My name is Chrissy Smith, and together we energize your body from the inside out. I'm so happy to have Deborah with me today. School has ended for me this semester, and I tell you what, I just see so much of the things that I want to do in the future. You know, when I talk to Deborah about some of these awesome topics, and then I start doing all these things over here, but then it's like, wait. I got to clean up this over here in my house. So I'm so glad that I finally tied up some of these loose ends and I can take a breath and I don't feel so stretched. And I feel like I've been doing a split for like the last 9 months. And it got real hard there at the end. So I'm glad that I've had this time with Mercury and retrograde that's coming up. We are so excited to be actually doing this before the 12/12 portal opens up for Mercury to kind of give us a chance to reflect, review, reorganize, do all the things, reevaluate what things we want to keep, what things we want to throw away, what worked for us, what did not work for us. But what I find the most intriguing about this time of year is the fact that Sagittarius is the time that we get to spend time with our families. We get to have some downtime. We get to reflect on some of that as well. And maybe, look back at some of the relationships that maybe didn't turn out so well. How have we healed from those? How have we maybe mended some parts of our family that maybe had some strife for the last few years with some of the energies that have presented themselves? So I do find it a little auspicious, though, the fact that Mercury is in retrograde during the time of year where people travel, and Mercury controls our travel. Mercury controls our communication. So, if we're in situations at this time of year with family members and something triggers us, let's think about how we can respond to that in a loving and kind way and not so, and saying things that maybe we don't mean. If you get to the airport and you have delays, Mercury controls our communication and our travel. So, just kind of expect these things, kind of understand that they can happen, and how are you going to evaluate the situation in order to keep moving forward and not letting those things trigger you. So, Deborah, how have you
Oh,
been? How was your Thanksgiving?
my Thanksgiving was spectacular. It was quaint, quiet, and I had a baking good time. And so now, and my sister moved, so I've been helping her to move. What a chore! But it's almost done. She's in there, but we're still unpacking. So, in the midst of all this beautiful things that is going on in the heavens and letting us know what to expect down here on this place that we call home earth is just very inviting at the moment. And as you said, today is 12/12 and beautiful. And the beautiful thing about it is at 6:32, we are going to have a new moon in Sagittarius. When that's when the sun and the moon come together, and it's a dark time. And so darkness is nothing to be afraid of. It's where our soul resides, the other side of us resides. And so that part has some communication. And so tomorrow, um, Mercury, like you said, is going to go retrograde, and it has to do with our communication. So where Mercury is actually located is in Capricorn, and I'm gonna come back to that in just a moment because I want to clarify these next door neighbors you were talking about coming together, community, people that we haven't seen in a good while with the holidays and all that. Well, Sagittarius and Capricorn, they're right next door to each other. And so they are speaking the loudest to us at this particular time to give us some guidance and some overview as to what's going on so that we will know how to put our mindfulness in to be able to take care of ourselves. When you look at Sagittarius, the moon, there's the quest for truth, peace of mind, travel, freedom, adventure, legal issues, faith, optimism, finding solutions, overcoming excess. Whew. I wanted to pause with that one because that's when we look at Capricorn and what's going on with the Pluto in there, and now the Mercurial energy is getting ready to in there to go retrograde. That's some dialogue. So we're going to find out about that. Sagittarius rules the quest for truth, including religion, prayer, and higher guidance, places of worship, frankness, and honesty, direct communication. Sagittarius rules the natural world, including connections to nature, intuition, peace of mind. Sagittarius rules freedom, including spontaneity, adventure, positive expectations, exploration, and foreign travel. It also rules the law, attorneys, lawsuits, ethics, morality, conscience, court proceedings. Look at all of that stuff that's going on. Sagittarius rules optimism, including faith, friendliness, good luck, generous spirits, gallantry, and that's the part where we want to be right there where all those other things are happening. Sagittarius rules higher education. Some people are graduating here in the December from university because it does rule the higher education, mentors, colleges, and universities, philosophy, seeking answers, finding solutions. All of that's beautiful. And then it says it rules carelessness, including shortcuts, self-righteousness, making assumptions, excesses, extravagance, blunt communication, Pollyanna approaches. And I'm going to go back to the blunt communication because, like I said, Sagittarius and Capricorn, they're next door neighbors. And Capricorn can be the Groucho of the astrology side. So when you are a Groucho, you can be very blunt. You'd be like, what did they just say? But then we get the opportunity to be able to respond because now we know, okay, well, this is that time when that energy of bluntness can happen or the grouch can show up. Where is the grouch in me? Am I being blunt? So it calls for a self-examination so that we can pull ourselves back to that vibration of joy, which Jupiter actually represents because it's the ruling planet for Sagittarius. It is fire. It is mutable. It rules the five. It's the shaman as well. Its esoteric meanings are it's seeking your truth first. Awakening through disruption. How about that one? Most people don't see that as an awakening, but it is through disruption, as we can see we've got plenty of that. And at the same time, when we take a rethink, review, relook, as you were saying, all the reads, we begin to see where we are awakening and not finding something that's wrong with us. Looking at where we look at our resources, because when you did the little page that indicates what we're going to be talking about today, it has on there that Mercury retrograde is going to occur on the 12th. Well, the resource that I used, it did say the 12th, and I'm like, well, it's actually happening on the 13th. So tomorrow. So, and it is absolutely okay. It is fine because there's nothing but a correction that can happen. And plus it gives us this opportunity to look into this 12-12 day, December the 12th. And when you reduce the 1 and the 2 in numerology, you're going to get 3. So you're getting double 33, double 3. When you see what 3 actually means, it embodies happiness, connection, sharing, immense expression, and creativity. And this is from a newsletter that I had gotten from Tanya Gabrielle. And when you look at the 3 and the 3, it actually all 3 times 3 equals 9, which keeps involving the 369 frequency. And 9 is the ruling house for Sagittarius. And so when we look at that, it is about the house of optimism. It is where the seeker is found. It is what we're seeing and what we're looking at to know what our truths are. So tomorrow, when the moon shifts over in Capricorn, and we will have done our rituals. And whatever ritual you want to do is absolutely fine, because the new moon is all about new opportunities, looking back to see, what we don't need, and adjusting that, and new opportunities that present themselves. We can decide if we want to do that or not. It's expansiveness in Sagittarius all day long. It is where the optimist person lives. It's the gypsy traveling here, traveling there, foreign matters, and we can see we have a lot of foreign matters going on. Okay, so tomorrow, when Mercury actually goes retrograde in Capricorn, I saw that as this is our state of the union, because Mercury is our communication. You got Mercury that's 8 degrees now already in Capricorn. So tomorrow at the opposite end, you still got Pluto that's at 28 degrees. So this span is kind of separated. And so when Mercury is in Capricorn, what kind of conversation is going on? This is big corporate. Let's bring it down to us being bosses, because that's what Capricorn is about. Us, and us being the CEO of Capricorn, of our career, of the earth, because Capricorn is all about the earth. What are we doing with the resources that we have? Like you said, learning to use the resources that we have, that the earth is constantly the giver. That's another thing about Sagittarius. It gives. That's why it doesn't know excess. It just gives. It is up to us to know what excess is. And as we can see, that's why the world is in the shape of that it is, because of excess. Now, nothing's wrong with having excess. Let me make sure I'm saying that in clarity. It is when it becomes greed, when it has gone beyond to mistreating humanity, not knowing how to treat one another or how to love one another. And so we get to take a good look here to see what our communication is. Are we workaholics? Well, something to think about. You get to look at that in Mercury. Mercury is our mind. It is our thinking. And then when you look at Sagittarius, that's our consciousness, what we are doing with the other. So when the logical mind, the linear mind, which is Mercury, we get to examine that, and all of that is being looked at through Scorpio. You got to come through Pluto to be able to look at it, to be able to get to the hidden things that need to come to the surface and have come to the surface for the purpose of transformation. And again, it is through disruption. I don't think you can get any more disruption when you have to go through Pluto. And so from my point of view, with the Mercury, it also rules social media as well. So looking at all of these things that are going on, and us taking a look at our state of our union, our world, our individual, our corporate, what we are imagining, what we're manifesting, that's Sagittarius, what we're bringing from the higher mind, from the spiritual aspect of, and combining it with the logical, so that the naturalness of us will come through, and our gifts, our skills, our talents are able to be on display for the world to see, and to know that we have the freedom to create. So that's what 1212 Portal is yelling. Create. Be the creative person that you are. Think about the big picture. And at the same time, look at the resources, because again, with Capricorn, that is where the planner lives. The planner inside of us, the best Christmas parties you've ever been. Most fun, and everybody, the invitations are being sent out, whether it's family, just dumbing it down from the big corporate to our world. And then we look at the constitutions that we've made. Do they need some updating? That's what communication is about. We get to look at our world. What constitutions, which is beliefs, what beliefs do I need to change? Do I need to let go through the transformation process so that they can align when angels are speaking, when the inside is speaking? And this is a time for the healings. And then we look at how we do use our resources. And guess what? The Grinch wants to keep all the resources to themselves. And at the same time, we can make it fun because Sagittarius is about joy. It is about laughter. So when we infuse that energy, those two energies, when we infuse them together, we can remain on the trajectory of what we're moving to. And guess what? It's making the light brighter. We are showing up, all the light workers, and astrologers are talking all about it on YouTube, where the light is really becoming very prominent. Even the heavens are displaying the lights. And so it is getting light, and it is us. And so the truth seekers, the truth sayers, they are coming forth. They're channeling energy to give us guidance, to give us direction, so that we will have a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path. That in the darkness, there's always light. So there is nothing to be afraid of. As we dismantle fear more and more and more, to look at what's forthcoming, because I won't go into a whole lot of 2024, but 2024 is 8. It's infinite. It is about infinity. It is about the looping. It is about us having these opportunities to be able to display a whole newness. Newness is on the way. And so as we keep our eyes on the trajectory, not the ones who are abusing power, pull your energy from that, because if that keeps our focus, then that means that we're giving that thing energy to continue to be as it is. But the more joy that we have, the more that we are uplifting, the more that we are creating and using the sources and the resources that are given to us, where we have to pay attention to the earth now. And the earth is really yelling out loud. Yes, it's still expanding as well, and has plenty of room to expand. We all have plenty of room. There's spaces all around, and they keep saying we're running out of space. Just look around. There's a lot of empty stuff, so it doesn't look like we're running out of space to me. Again, what we are believing, whether it's from religion, whether it's from tradition, whether it's from culture, we get to look at how our minds have been enslaved, and now we are opening up and we are walking beyond that. We are transforming into humanity, and we are bringing so much love to this planet that it is responding. And not only is it just this planet, it is going way beyond out into the cosmos, because what's happening is this is a cosmos affair, and I love it. So pretty much, Chrissy, that's how I'm doing. That's how I'm feeling. Optimistic, joyful, just enjoying life every day. I have to make that decision. It's a conscious decision to do it, because I get things that worry me, and I get to choose. I get to choose, am I going to still worry about that or what? And when you look at the places where we have the hard aspects or the challenges that are happening in there, so we have that information like, oh, well, okay, that's what's happening. And then I get to go back to, or bring back that energy that feels good to the inside as well as the outside. And then that's what begins to affect the external part of the world. And then my corporate craft for healing, which includes my personal life too. So whatever we are, the CEO of our world. We are looking at all the structures that we have brought together, and we don't have to tear down to the foundation, but we can tear down to the foundation, and we are rebuilding that we truly do see. And that's what Sagittarius is all about, seeing. And we will ask other people, and the whole time we see it. And I had to realize, I was like, girl, do you realize that you already have seen this? Do what you see, and that's what's important. So I'm doing what I see.
Well, when you talked about the foundation, it makes me think about the last 4 years of my life. And so with Venus going into a new 4-year cycle, my last 4 years was spent cleaning up my foundation and having like this rebirth. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm not even the same person. I don't listen to the same music. I don't eat the same foods. I don't hang around the same people. I don't have the same mindset. I look at all the skills that I have now. If you had told me 4 years ago that I had to have a YouTube channel, I would have laughed in your face. And then I look at the process of how I did it, which was, you know, in 2019, I bought this house and I had all these things kind of go wrong with it when I bought it, but I was having to clean up my foundation, painting all these things. But guess what? Thank gosh for 2020, because that's how I kept myself sober. I mean, like, and what I mean by sober, yeah, I drank a lot, but a lot of people did during that time. The churches were closed, but the liquor store was open. So guess what people naturally did? And if you don't have to go to work, if you ain't got to go to work, you're going to start drinking at lunchtime, or you're going to drink every day, because you're at home. You're not having to get in the car and go to work somewhere, and so I had to clean up my foundation. And then after I cleaned up where I lived, it's like, well, now I got to clean up this vessel, the one I live in all the time. And that's the hardest one to do, because a lot of people don't want to do the inner work. And so 2020 calls me to do some inner work, and it calls me to, look at parts of myself that I needed to change, and I needed to put my energies towards something good instead of something that was just passing time because I was bored. And so then after I saved America last year, it was like, well, who do I want to be now? And I started following astrology. I met you when I was running for office last year, trying to help somebody, saving humanity. And anyway, you said something, and you talked about the number 8. That's going into 2024. We add all those numbers up, and it equals an 8. And that was the first message that I ever received from you. When we knocked on your door, you were talking about how you educate your grandson, and that you educate him with different things that he would need to know, not math and stuff like that. But number 8 also is the infinity symbol, which love never ends. And
Never.
that statement right there was like, okay, this lady knows more about spirituality than she perceives to be. And so I knew that even though I couldn't figure out where you lived to go have another magical conversation before we had the magical conversation of divine intervention that day at an event that we both worked together, I knew that we were going to be friends, and that we were supposed to help each other this past year. And I'm so grateful for you, Deborah. And I
Thank
wish
you.
you the most magical 2024 that the universe, God, all the angels can abundantly give you. Because guess what? The first few years of our lives may not have been so glamorous, but guess what? Times are changing.
Changing, baby.
We're changing.
Changing.
Yep. And, I'm really excited about the age of Aquarius that is coming up for us in January 20th of next year. And, we're having to kind of look at some of all of these structures that we have believed in for so long.
Oh,
Why are
yeah.
you the way that you are? What shapes you? Why do you believe? What do you do with your energy? Do you get up early in the morning and then you drive to a job that you hate and you spend 8 or 9 hours there, and then you drive home and you get stuck in traffic, and then you're so exhausted you may have time to throw in a load of laundry or heat up something in the microwave, or hell, go get fast food and then pass that out on the couch and go to sleep and do it all again, after you take a shower. And it's like, yuck. Why are we doing that to ourselves? What are you giving your energy to? It is not as hard as people think. You just have to realize, like, hey, I want something different in my life. Well, what is that? But first we got to clean up our foundation. It's like you can't build a house, your business, whatever it is that you want, your goal, if you don't have a good foundation of bricks, of what is it, the caulk seat, the cement stuff that goes in between. You
Mortar.
got to have a good foundation of all the cement square. You got to make sure that when you put the planks down, there's not going to be opportunities for mold and mildew to get in the crevices of that basement. You want it solid. So when you do put up the other things that you want in your life, they have room to expand and grow, expand and grow. Jupiter is in Taurus, expand in our resources. And we're getting closer and closer to the galactic center this month. When Sagittarius goes into 26, 27 degrees, it can be debated. And I think that that's a really auspicious time too as well, because it's like whatever we want, that is our ability to connect to the divine so that we can be guided into what our infinite purpose is supposed to be in this particular lifetime. And what I've learned the most recently is, um, all these experiences that I've had, even though they've been difficult, that have challenged my resources, I'm turning that into a resource for the future because those experiences have allowed me to be able to share my story as a
Yeah.
resource, you know? And so I'm just really excited about this coming year. I see the abundance coming to me, and it's in all shapes and sizes, in the
Yeah.
form of money, in the form of people, in the form of nice gestures. I went out yesterday to take my friend out for whatever. I just enjoy his company, and he ended up paying for it. And so, yay, I got a free meal out of that.
Absolutely.
And it's just abundance coming in the form of a conversation or a trade out or something. And just believing in myself that the new skill sets that I am acquiring and educating myself in the background, I'm going to be able to do what it is that I want to do next year as a little side
Yeah.
hustle. And I'm really excited about that. And, I got added an extra class next year because apparently there was some off numbers or whatever, and I hadn't taught too many classes. So I think I'm going to be teaching 7 classes. And I'm like, you know what? If that's the case, guess what? Then those are the students that need to see me. And I have more people that are going to be looking at my stuff on YouTube. So, okay, bring it on. I'm ready for the challenge. If you want to throw me something because, it seems like I did something unfair, well, I'm going to turn it into something that's going to help me as well.
Yeah.
So, I'm super excited to be able to kind of be able to have better conversations with people about how to get to the depths of why they do things, and let's clear out that clutter. I told my mama that last night. Let me see if I can pull this chart up here. I'm trying to do some different stuff.
This is your mama's chart you're pulling up?
No, I'm pulling this up right here. Oh, can't see it. Let me well, apparently it doesn't want me to do that. There we go. We can pull this up. See if this is working. Nope. All right. Do not present. Stop screen. All right. Let me try this one more time.
Okay.
There we go. All right. So when we look at this right here, I don't know if you can see this little going around. Let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I can kind of, it's too small.
Yeah, there we go. Unfortunately, I can't get rid of this thing over here on the side, but let me see if I can. Nope, can't do that. All right, so this is what the moon is doing now. And if we look right, or that is going to be, this is what is going to be happening when we have the full moon at exact. And if you look right here, this is This is Sagittarius, and it is going over when the full moon actually happens. It's going over our sixth house of habits. So, if we see this fiery planet here, which is Mars, at a
Yeah.
13 degree, which is an Aries degree. Aries is also the sign that governs Mars. So Mars has given us a good kick right here with Aries energy, with our North Node in Aries. It's like, hey, let's look at our habits. What serves us? What does not serve us? Let's take a look at that. Okay. And if we're going up here to, at the top, this is your midheaven. This is what's telling you, hey, it's time to do these things so you can get about what you need to do over here in your Capricorn energy of house of career, which has the North Node in it, and also Chiron, which is a collective, is telling people to, hey, let's take a look at some of these inner wounds that we have. And maybe there might be an inner wound around 12, 13, 14, 15, around our mindset. Okay, the higher mind. The higher mind is what is controlled over here by Sagittarius in the ninth house. The higher
Right.
mind is what is controlled over here by Jupiter. And Jupiter, if we look at this, is also at a 6th degree. So if we look at 6, we're coming right back over here to Sagittarius. So these planets are talking to ourselves. What are your habits? What is your mindset around your habits? Why do you have those habits? And if you want to have abundance in your life, right, why don't we take a look at what our resources are and try to have abundance with what we have? But right here, it kind of looks like Jupiter is ready to expand our resources and transform our resources right here. If you look at 19, our relationship, that's a relationship degree. What relationships do we have with our resources? It's time to kind of take a deeper look at those and reevaluate those so we can kind of move through those energies of Uranus, which is about technology, innovation. How can you be innovative with the resources that you have? And if you are, you can have great abundance because the universe is just going to keep giving it to you. Look at this trine right here.
Yeah.
And look at this 9, it's talking to Venus is talking to Jupiter as well. That's a number 9 degree, which is also a Sagittarius degree up here for higher mind. So that's also a Jupiter degree. So I love this a lot. Love this
Yeah,
a lot.
that's absolutely beautiful because even today as we speak now, the moon and Mars are actually conjunct on another, and then when you got the sun, it creates a stellium. And so Mars definitely that's giving us confidence, and at the same time, it's the action that we're taking too. So as Mars continues to give us that extra boost and the lethargic part of doing the things in excess. Because when you do things in excess, the workaholic, overworking, overdoing, that's what
Mm-hmm.
it wants us to be mindful of. Because when you get there, then you've got to do it in moderation. Whatever moderation is, that it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't overwhelm you to the point where you're doing too much or you're not doing enough. It has the balance in there. So that's a good thing about having Mars with Sagittarius. In other words, it gives us more empowerment, that extra boost that we do need. And of course, it is actually squaring Neptune at this time in Pisces. So when it comes to Neptune, that's the part that we're seeing, how we're seeing things. Is it from an illusion? Is it from a
Mm-hmm.
delusional aspect? But at the same time, it's clearing the fog away too. Those
Yep.
hard aspects gives us the part that you said we're able to hold it up and look at it in a microscope and saying,
Yep.
like you said, why am I doing what am I doing? Why am I behaving the way that I am? And if you go into stillness, the answers will come from within. And then those healing mechanisms, like you talked about with, or healing tools, like you talked with Chiron being in here, Aries, it will bring the necessary tools forward that will help us to heal. And again,
Hmm.
it's all about grounding. It's all about meditating, and whatever sense, if it's just walking in nature, that's pretty big right there. And when it comes to grounding, being out in nature, breathing in good air, being around water at this particular time, but really pouring into a place of going into the darkness and sitting and lighting a candle. That's why I said, the rituals that you do, it can be just as simple as lighting a candle, having a cup of tea, just quieting within. And it could be the very next day that something comes in. If you don't get something at that moment, don't give up. It could happen the very next day. A lot of my insights that drop in after I've talked to someone, sometimes it happens the next day. And again, it does come with having a lot of grace. We talked about this before we came on air about the grace that's given to us. And we do have to give it to ourselves in order to administer to each other. So this is a very healing and expansive time
Yeah.
at the same time. So all I can say is grow, expand, heal. And like you say, the nine lives energies, nine is ending cycle and bringing on something new, and where a new cycle is ready to start over.
I want to see if I can do this. Video stop slide. I'm going to do it another time. I want to look at this real quick though. So, um, this right here, when you were talking about Mars and the fiery planet. So, what this right here means take action, like take action in your health habits, take action, and maybe do it in a transformative degree, because 20 is a Scorpio degree, 8 is a Scorpio degree as well. And so it's talking to us and creating good habits. All right. That's our rules. That's our regulations. That's our structures. That's our whatever. What are you doing? And then, if I look at where Capricorn is, it's right over here. And then there's Pluto. And Pluto is all about our transformation, and it's asking us to transform our our relationships, transform our habits. What can we do in order to be better people? And relationships are transformative. That's why I love the zodiac wheel, because it's like, okay, house of self, who are you going to be? What are my resources? What is my mindset and how I communicate? What is my home? How do I create? What are my habits? Then here's my relationship. Okay, I'm taking all these things about who I am before I met this relationship.
Yeah.
Now this relationship is supposed to transform me. Now, after it transformed me, now I'm educated because of it. And then I can go out and teach other people in order to be with mind like people that want to do the same thing that I want to do, and be of service to humanity in the higher mind. I don't know. I just love astrology. When I allow my mind to go into all these places, I just think
Yes.
it's just fascinating. And I look down here at the bottom, uh, at the south node, and let me see where 21 is. It's 24, 23, 22, 21. It's also at a Sagittarius degree right now. Our relationships of how we educate ourselves are changing into the higher mind. Jupiter
Yes.
is expanding our higher mind. Have
Absolutely.
you ever done
Yes.
the degree theory? Do you ever look at that?
Say it again.
The degree theory. Have you ever dived into that?
I have not, but I use it just basically when it comes to numerology. I take
Yeah.
the degree and then I look at it from a numerology from perspective, and then I use that.
Okay.
I'm
All
thinking
right.
that
Well,
it's the same thing based on, pretty much the way that you've been explaining. I think it's the same thing.
yeah. I just it's basically every zodiac house has a particular degree based upon where it goes around, and so it could be a moon degree, it could be a Jupiter degree, a Sagittarius degree kind of
Okay.
thing.
No, I'm
Is
not familiar with that. I just pretty much, like I said, I just take the degree, and if it's a single digit, of course, it was 0 to 1. I mean 0 to 9, and then from there the 11 all the way up to the 28. Then the 29. Then that's when I look at it from there by reducing it to a single digit. So you can send me that information. That would be wonderful to learn.
Yeah, I just I there's an astrologer that I follow and she's kind of into it. And I forgot who the astrologer, let me see what his name is real quick. Um
Yeah, no, when it comes to the
Nicola
degree
Nicola somebody. What's his name?
and the
Nicola.
numerology, then when they all link together, it's beautiful. It really is. Helps you to learn more and more about yourself.
Yeah, it's Nicola Stojanovic. That's who created the degree theory.
Okay.
And anyway, it's basically like it helps even more because if you see like Mars at 1 degree in a Scorpio in the sign of Scorpio in the eighth house, well, guess what? That's like Aries energy because Mars is a first degree and it's also governed by the first house, which is Aries. So it's got even more energy now, because it's in a sign where it's comfortable and in a house where it's comfortable in traditional astrology.
Absolutely.
So that Mars in that particular chart is going to be very powerful, and that person probably is going to either be very impulsive or could maybe have possibly, depending on how it's aspected, could have some of the um, not so favorable qualities of Aries
Yeah.
or
Very, very much
Scorpio.
so. Yeah, definitely. Anything that has a 1 degree is pretty strong anyway. So
Yeah,
absolutely, yeah. I see
yeah,
what you're saying. It kind of works out the same way when it comes to the degrees. So yes, ma'am. Very
yeah.
powerful stuff. That's all I say is, and as you went around the whole wheel, and having those descriptions, the characteristics of each one of them and how it plays a part with us. It helps me more to know how multifaceted we are.
Mm.
And that's always a wonder to me because we are each one of those 12 signs that we have those characteristics in knowing how to, the key to being able to communicate to each part of us. And when we're communicating with others, then we don't have all those assumptions out there because I think that was one of the weaknesses that I brought out that Sagittarius is about, that it can definitely make assumptions. So it helps us to bring those things into the suggestion that I don't have to assume anything by you or about you. And that means that I can send more love energy towards you in the things that you're doing. So, in other words, I just see the higher self, it becomes more reflective than the assumptions of what we've been given a person is and categorize them and the race issue and all of that dissolves. All of that dissolves, and there's nothing but love that's coming through, and that I can see you for the true person and the gifts and the talents and the skills that you're bringing to your world, and your world affects the bigger world. So yes,
Absolutely. We're
yes.
all divine pieces of something even more magical.
Okay.
I do want to show this real quick. Let me see if I can make this bigger. uh, Maybe I made it too big. Oh yeah, I did. All right, guys. So this is my birth chart, and let me see if you can kind of see this going around. You can. All right. So this looks like a double triangle. All right. And
Yeah.
so it goes between Sagittarius and Aries and Leo, which is the three fire signs.
Right.
All right. So I'm going to take this off the screen now. When I got married, I gave my husband this ring. I don't know if you can see it. Let me pull it up closer.
I can see it.
All right, it has like it has two triangles in it.
Wow. And you didn't
And
know that at
he
the
wanted
time?
to get, and I had this made, I designed this myself. And I designed this myself back in 2006 when we got married. And he wanted to put stones in it. And I told him, I said, I can't afford that right now. How about us be married for a little while and then I'll add the stones in it? Well, we were only married for 6 months because of some choices that he made, which I'm not going to go into right now. But we did get back together. And unfortunately, he's no longer with us. And when he passed away, I went and got it filled. Now, I have never worn it. And I started wearing it like a couple of weeks ago. And I wonder if it was because my soul was waiting for me to be more balanced with the double triangle, just like this double triangle is on this ring right here. I don't know. It's magical, and I like the fact that, the number 8 infinity symbol doesn't end, neither does the circle. And maybe this was to show me, that maybe my divine purpose is being fulfilled right now with whatever I'm doing, now that I feel not good enough to wear it, but I've learned the lessons that I need to learn in order to wear it. That's what I feel. So I just wanted to share that story. I don't know, it was on my heart today to share. And I appreciate you so much, Deborah, and our magical journey over this year. And I can't wait to see what other kind of magical things will present themselves to us. Do you have anything else to share? Any closing remarks?
Well, the thing of it is, when you talked about the double trine, and and I thought about the communication, what that aspect shows in a chart, and it says that it's effortless. And so now you have put, that insignia on your finger, effortless, now that you're doing. So you talked about all the struggles, all the hard times that the relationship had, and now that you are have come into having a relationship with yourself, now it's like, because when you think of two, that's corporate, that's partnership. And so again, when we come into ourselves, we do think about the jewels that we are. And so congratulations. I think that's wonderful that you do know. It's not, I don't know, if that's so. I did just agree with me that you have come into agreement with yourself, and it's an effortless thing. The challenges are always mixed in there, because if we didn't have challenges, we would not learn anything. We would be walking around here with the big head, and it'd be like, you need to go sit down somewhere. You're doing too much. And
Hmm.
so, we'll have the grandizement, I'm this and I'm that and all of that. None of that. But this is through humility. And that's what those challenges, when it comes to the loved ones that have passed on. Of course, I tell my loved ones all the time, I wish you were still here.
Yeah.
The world is different. My world is different, but yet I still keep going. I miss them, but at the same time, because I understand the life process, I know that their energy is still here. They just don't have the physical body anymore. And
Yeah.
so, what a wonderful journey. I am too glad that I met you. And I'm so glad that we've had these opportunities to make these videos. It has just been an absolute pleasure to be on Nine Lives Energy.
Thank you. Thank you. And I appreciate you letting me step out on the woo side. We did it
Yes,
together. We did it together.
we
All right.
did.
Guys, if you would like a birth chart reading, please make sure that you get in touch with Deborah Robinson. And her information has been scrolling across the ticker throughout this video today, and is also in the description of this video. I wish you much magical happiness in 2024, and I'm sure that we're going to chit chat before the end of the year, but in case we didn't, I just wanted to make sure that I got all this out before Mercury went into retrograde.
Happy new moon.
Happy new moon. Bye-bye.
Bye.